Thanks for staying with us. We're still discussing the coalition. As I said, is the hottest word in the last few weeks in Nigeria. And joining the conversation is a guest. He's the Director General of the Institute of Police and Security Policy Research. Welcome with us, Dr. Charles Omole, to the show. To Abuja Studio. Welcome, sir. Good to have you on the show with us.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
So we've been discussing the coalition before you came in, and there have been so many angles discussed so far. So what are your own thoughts, especially because Nigerians are asking questions? Who is going to become the flag bearer, and on what circumstances, or what are going to be the agreements to be agreed to for any one of them to take up the role as a flag bearer of the party? Also, considering the fact that there are various interests also, and the aggrieved members of various parties are coming together, do you think they can actually reach a consensus on the objective, aside from on seating the current president? Do you think there's going to be a way for Nigerians to have a different option for the coming elections coming up? What do you think? What are your thoughts on this new coalition?
Well, thank you. Well, it is a fact that if you look at all democracies globally, it's impossible to unseat an incumbent with a fractured opposition. Every country where you've had too many opposition parties, it always favors the government in power. And that actually was why APC itself was born, to unseat, Jonathan, in 2014, 2015. Now, the situation with the current arrangement being announced by the politician is there are several angles to it. Number one, they are talking of coalition. Coalition is not known to our electoral system. Merger is known. Because the difficulty right now is some of them are claiming they are still member of their original party and then also member of the coalition. That creates a problem instantly because our constitution and electoral act does not allow for membership of more than one political party. Even Nigerians who are not vying for electoral office are not allowed to join more than one political party, and much more those vying to to get into office. So there's a problem, I think, with the way they're going about it. I think they need to either decide they want to merge. Merger will mean those parties, the original parties, will collapse into this new party, and that I think is more effective than this coalition that they're talking about. Also the problem with the coalition is, I think someone of the ladies said earlier that all politics is local. That is true. The issue is when you have a coalition, what you have is you are just having the big guns in the different parties joining this new ADC, but they are not carrying the structure of their previous party along. So potentially you could have ADC present a candidate based on this coalition, and Labour Party will
Okay, we're having a bit of a freeze right there. So he was trying to go on to the structure available under each of the represented parties in this coalition and see if it will be functional for their collective objective.
Let me take some messages.
Just a few messages while we're getting back.
Now says real coalition is when everyone collapses their own structure and stick with one party, not people with one leg in one party.
The coalition.
Okay. Hello, sir. Are you there? Dr. Male?
Yes.
We lost you for a minute, but go ahead, please.
Yes, I said so it's better for them to merge because merging means you are carrying the entirety of the party structure into the new party, into the new platform with you. Okay. That's an effective way to do it. The way they are doing it in terms of just a coalition of the big guns means that the previous parties will still maintain their structure. And we also field their own candidates. That, for me, is an ineffective way to unseat any incumbent.
Dr. Mole, before you came on, I was asking the ladies who they think the flag bearer, if indeed this ADC becomes the party to unseat the current president, who do you think should be the flag bearer? Is it Atiku Abubakar or is it Peter Obi? And why? And do you think each should concede to each other, considering all the various calculations available? Some are saying that Atiku can do one term, hand over to Peter Obi for the other term. Others are saying Atiku can step down, understand that Peter Obi already has the obedience following to win the election coming up. I'm not sure what Amaechi's game is, but he also is hoping to become president. So in all of these, who do you think should be the right choice for the flag bearer?
Well, that's a difficult one. I mean, first of all, I mean, if you heard part of what I said earlier, that our law does not allow you to be a member of two political parties. So the first thing that needs to be done is Obi or anybody else that wants to vie under ADC must resign membership of their previous party.
Okay.
That, if they don't, they are going to enter all kinds of legal difficulties.
Okay.
But in terms of who should they choose, well, in terms of the calculation at the moment, you have to see who has the greatest electoral pool in there. And you cannot discount that Obi will be a formidable choice for them. But there are so many things around the way this 2027 campaign needs to be run that I'm already seeing signs that makes me to worry in terms of what I call very vague electoral promises by the politicians. I think we need to hold them to more specific policy formulations for this. But I looked at the interviews they are all giving. Answers are too generic and too general, in my opinion. We need, the way we are right now, we need more specific, policy options before we can make our decision. But I think the good money will probably favor Obi at the moment to be their flag bearer.
Okay. What are your thoughts? Jump in.
I wanted to talk about, because that means our conspiracy theories here think that there's a mole within the ADC already. You have talked about the legalities of the ADC, whether it's a viable platform for them to meet. But Dami was just saying, the politics that the president has played in the past is one of concessions. He knows when to let go. He's quickly forgiven. So is there a possibility that one of these people on this, one of them who seems to be
let me help Nima add to that question. So do you think El Rufai is a mole? Do you think Aregbesola is a mole? Because these are people that have been close ones to Mr. President, the current president. So should this coalition, or this merger, or this ADC, should they be trusting people who have been close to the current president at all to be in this coalition?
Well, I mean, the truth is, if you are a student of political history, you will find out that even without the coalition, there is a mole for every political party in every political party. That's a given. That's a given. And clearly, the party in power, whether PDP, APC, or ADC, or whoever their name is, will always have moles in other political parties. So that is a given. So the question has to be, who is that person? Well, that's why they call it mole. We don't know. So they're going to have to be clever in terms of articulating their policies and deciding very well who they choose. Because if they accidentally choose the mole as a candidate, then that platform is finished.
Okay, Damila.
Okay, I would like to know I would like to pick your brains on the fact that we've seen all of these big wigs put their weight behind the coalition, and you're also talking about it should have been a merger, knowing fully well that ADC at its own, it's a registered political party. But where do you think the interest of Nigerians lie? Do Nigerians even have an interest? Should we just go and wait and let everything play out, then we look at the drama unfold? Or how should we agitate towards having a better Nigeria with the division in leadership?
Well, I mean, like I said earlier, there's no way anywhere in the world where an incumbent can be defeated by fractured opposition. I remember very well after Mugabe died, the election immediately after, people assumed that the ZANU-PF will be defeated in elections because they were not popular. But then at that election, there were 16 other presidential candidates in the opposition parties. So of course, the ZANU-PF won again. The important thing is when you divide the anti-incumbent vote into several pots, as it were, it will always favor the incumbent.
Oh, frozen again. Okay, we're having a bit of freeze.
Yeah, okay. I was going to say that for me, I don't think politicians are very naive about possibility of moles in their gatherings. Yeah, so I always feel that they prepare for things like that. So I don't think it's a big issue. But when he comes back, I was just going to ask that when we see these sort of arrangement, permutations and combinations, doesn't that speak of a healthy electoral process? Doesn't that speak of a healthy, yes, in a country that, we want to see these things. We don't want to see parties that seem to be stamped and somehow just pushed. We want to see people joining and coming out and speaking. Yeah, not really. I don't want to use cross-carpeting, but just I like to see these combinations and permutations happening. For me, it shows that they understand that it's important that they get it right, because in the end, the votes, the people matter. So for me,
I think we're going to end with this, because I really wanted Dr. Charles to give us a final thoughts on it, but we have to wrap up on this, because I know he's here to discuss a completely different topic. We have to ambush him to give his thoughts on this. But really, in a nutshell, at the end of the day, it's about the Nigerian people. They make the choices. Dr. Mole, are you back? I think I see you now. Can you hear me? Okay, we have to wrap up on this one. Yes. Your final thoughts on it. You're talking about the role of the citizens before we got disconnected from you. Could you just wrap that up, please?
Yes, I mean, what I think needs to happen is, I remember before 2015 election, I did a one-page matrix, like a scorecard. How do you know who you vote for? So I put 21 priorities. Okay. Then I said score each candidate or each party based on these priorities, and whoever scored the highest wins. But Nigerians, we're used to making the decisions with our emotions, not with fact. And I think that will not change this time. People will still make decisions based on their emotions.
That's an interesting fact. You just opened a whole new door of conversation, but I have to pause it here because it's still early days of the coalition. Nigerians are looking, we're watching. Those of us who are interested in politics, we're excited about what Mariam just said, that it makes for interesting conversation when you have an opposition that is strengthened and say, okay, how can the incumbent ensure that he owns the seat? Because he always tells us, listen, if you don't like what I'm doing, vote me out. Let's do it the right way. You can vote me out. If you think I'm doing the right thing, keep me in. However, we must go by the process. We have to go do it by the rule of law. But I'm happy that there's a lot of conversation going on, and we hope that indeed Nigerians are able to make a decision, not emotional decision, but a rational decision when it comes to the next election. Let's go on a short break. When we come back, we discuss security. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.